Hi friends, welcome to Aishusdiy. We will work with Sam's bead box today, and I have picked out these purple pink with this really gorgeous seafoam green color. I really like this a lot. It's very pretty in my opinion, and I love that color. So first I wanted to do that color only, but somehow I just changed the project. But nevertheless, we will do that with this lotus charm. So I have here some thread. This one is a waxed thread, and it is used for leather stringing or something like that. I bought this from Amazon. I will leave down the link below in the description box if you want. It says 0.5 millimeter in thickness, but it is way too thin. And it accommodates even 11 seed beads, if give or take. So I don't have any affiliation toward this, or I don't get anything benefited, but I can leave a link where I bought this from. It was about $10. And I am also using this. This is from BB Craft. It's Chinese knotting cord. I'm using this say about 22 inches, and then we will be using some a lighter ruler and stuff like that. So I am going to measure 24 inches for my base. That is with a Chinese knotting cord, and then I will use this to do the knotting technique. So 12 plus 24 inches. We need a pair of scissors to cut all our stuff. So that's done. Our 2 macrame cords is done. I've cut here and kept, and then we shall come to that cord later. First we will fix this one. So I take one piece of my 24-inch cord, and I take it, double it up, take the loop end, I put the loop inside, just like so. Okay, then take the ends, then so the lotus charm has this petal over here. We can do in that. So take those 2 cords and pop it through the loop, and kind of, somehow it's getting messed up. Let me see. Let's do it this way. Okay, so that's one end. This is a lark's head knot on one side, and on the other side also we will do the same thing. Double it up, put it inside this petal, take the loop, take the 2 ends of this, and put it through the loop. That way it's now secure. Then we're ready to start our stringing process. So I want to make sure that I burn the ends. So I did burn the ends. Now it's a little bit okay. I'm gonna test it through my bead. I'm sure it's not going to go on these. Let me try this one. It's a long bead, so there's a high chance it will not go. So these are very teeny tiny holes. Okay, we can use it only on the side, but that's okay. We can use metallic beads for the center. That's what I'm thinking. So I pulled out these melon gold metallic beads, these ones from my stash. So what I do is I try this and it is going through. So that's a good thing for us now. So I need to macrame. What I will do is I will pick up all of these beads and have it in a tray so that we can shift to a macrame board rather than this. That way it'll be easier, or we can do a tying station, whichever is possible. I'm still thinking macrame board is good. Let me just bring my macrame board. Hi friends, welcome back. I switched to the macrame board and I attached this to this side right here. I put 2 pins here so that we can start macrame. I cut this about say 45 inches, so just to be on the safer side. And then this one right here, I will secure it to the end as well. And now I take this 44-inch cord. I know it's a lot. You can also add in between, that should not be a problem. But I take these 2 ends and move it to the center and start doing the square knots. So here we go, right over left. So the P's and Q's. Okay, top, take this underneath, go through the P, and I guess everyone knows square knot. If not, please refer to my videos in my channel. I have basic macrame knots videos so that you can watch it and learn. And just because these 2 cords are the same color cords, it might be difficult to see, but I guess it's close up and it's a little bit clear. So that's half a knot. Now I'm doing the next half. So I'm going to do a couple of knots, at least 4 knots, before I start adding some beads. So I really like to work with this cord. So that is 2 full square knots, and then I am doing the 3rd knot. So what I do is I just keep something here so that it's a little bit elevated. I have a small box usually for that purpose. Couldn't find it. Nevertheless, I will put this one right here. Just to give it some space so that I can easily go underneath. Yes, now I'm fine. So I just put this one right here. That's about, say, right. And then what I do is I just make sure I add the metallic beads here. So I take this core. Now that that one is secure, we burn the ends, and I put the metallic beads because that's the only one it actually goes through. So I put some metallic beads in here. It's totally up to you if you have this stash or not, but these need big hole beads. So for the time being, I'm adding 6 beads, 6 to 8 beads over here, and then we shall see if we need more. Seven. That was a disturbance. I don't know where it came from. Sorry about that. Okay, now so I have some beads over here. Just put one right here and then do the macrame. I always start with a Q. Doesn't matter you start with a P or a Q. It really doesn't matter. All you need to know is you have to alternate the P's and Q's. That's about it. Okay, and now what we can do is we can start adding daggers. So I want to add daggers only on this side. This lotus is like this, so it's facing up. So this my left side is the top, and I consider my right side to be the bottom. So I'm going to add this dagger beads on this cord. You can also melt this cord a bit. So this is how it should be for us to actually add beads comfortably. So let's see. So in this cord I'm adding a dagger bead. In the other cord I can either add this this one, or I don't have to add a bead or so. Doesn't matter, but it is always good to add a bead on the other side as well. So I am going to add this cream beads, check glass beads that we got, if I am able to do it. I cut this as an angle, and if it is too difficult, I am not going to do it. Okay, that was too difficult. I am going to simply add these ones, or this one right here. Let's see if it looks nice. If not, we will take it off and then redo it. For some reason this one is not going in. When I checked all the other beads, I didn't check this. Yeah, it went through. So that is not a problem. Now I have this, and I want to make sure whether I like this or not, because as you can see, this one is big and this one is small. And if I do that, the size wise there will be a movement in the dagger bead, and I don't think so that will look really good. So let's find a purple bead which has a bigger hole, a seed bead or so, to add it here. I decided to add this A2 Picasso seed beads in a matte seafoam color because I think that color will go a little bit with this. So I'm adding one on this side and the dagger beads on the other side, and I'm going to make my Q. Okay, take my cord, put it in the underneath, and then now that's good. Now let me do the other half of the knot, my P. So you can add beads right in between, but I would like to add at least 2 knots in between just to make sure everything is in place and they have gap, because this cord is thin, so it doesn't make a big difference if you add 1 knot or 2 knot. So I am adding 2 knots in between the beads. Now I'm ready to add my dagger bead. Make sure the dagger bead has 2 sides and one has that AB coating and the other is plain. So I would prefer the AB coating on the front. So this is what I consider front. So just be consistent, doesn't matter. Okay, now so you can also consider this like a 4, and then take this cord on top and there we go. One more square knot. So 2 knots in between each bead. That's what I'm going for. Okay, 1, and this one is the number 2. Now I'm ready to add the next bead. So you can actually continue this pattern or you can do a different pattern. So I can actually come in and do this one right here a little bit, and also I can add this one also, but this one is not going through the center cord of ours, so I'm not going to use this bead anyways. So now I'm going to add the seafoam, this triangle shaped bead. So it has a flat side, both are flat, but one side it's a little bit tilted. Just make sure that you have that properly. So I'm going to add this one right here. So the other bead that I'm going to add for this is that purple bead on my left thread. These purple truck beads, these are 6 millimeter, so that will cover the distance is what my thought process is, and let's see if it does. Macrame is so versatile, just that we need beads that fit the whole, fit we need beads that have hole size that fits our cord. Again, 2 knots in between. Make sure your metallic beads doesn't come in between, and there I go. I'll just move this here. Okay, now I'm ready to add again a dagger bead. Sometimes the holes are small, Yeah, but this cord is nice and I really like it to thread with this cord. The knots also come very nicely. That's my opinion. I mean, the feel of the cord, you should be liking it. Once you start doing macrame with different cords, you will find your level of comfort with some cords better than the other. So you probably will create a liking towards one particular one. That's how I created towards this one. So 2 knots. So now I'm ready to add again an A2 Picasso seafoam bead on one end and then this dagger bead on the other. Continue my knots. That's 1 square knot. And this is 2 square knots. Okay, this I really like it. So we can either continue like this, or as I would say, I want this as a unit. So I stop it here and I add a metallic bead and then continue my knot. 1 more knot, 1 square knot after the metallic bead and 2 square knots after the dagger beads and the triangle beads. That's the pattern I'm following. You don't have to follow the same pattern. Whichever looks appealing for you, you can try and do that. Now I'm ready to add the next unit. Next unit is this whole thing. So again, I will do that. I hope you guys like it. Please do continue watching. I'll finish this part and come back. Hi friends, welcome back. See, I have finished 1 unit, the 2nd unit and the 3rd unit, and then I added just 3 rows of just macrame with my A2 seed beads, the Picasso ones, and this is all the thread I have left. This is one side of our necklace, the other side we have to do it yet. So for this I am going to take all of this and I'm going to wrap it. So how do we do that? You can take a piece of this cord, like normally they do it with silk wrap also, but you can do it with it too. So just take about, say, I have here some 13" of the cord. You can do it with silk thread too. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give a tug here of the last stitch we made and then join all 4 of these cords together. Okay, and then I'm gonna make a bend here. Okay, just about a little bit of bend here, and then just like that make a U about, say, 1 to 3 inches. Okay, just make a bend like that and keep it on top of all of the 4 cords like this, and then I will start wrapping from the place where I stopped the macrame while I hold all of this in my fingers, nice and tight. Then I come here, I hold everything, and then I just wrap this. Make sure it is a tight wrap because we wanted it tight. So make sure everything is tight. About 3/4 of an inch or so at least I will wrap, making sure everything is nice and tight under my fingers. Then once I'm happy about it, I take this, so this is our loop right here. Take it, I put it into the loop and hold on to that, and over here I will just pull this down to tighten. So now I will take these two ends and tight it. So as you can see, that's my wrap, and this is my string, this and this. So make sure it's inside, the knot is inside and not on the sides. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip off these two cords that we added in the last. Just snip it off, leaving a little bit of gap, and also the short tails that we knotted with. Just make sure you don't snip off that. So here it is. Take your lighter and make sure these ends are burned and nice and secure. Okay, that's done. And there's a short tail here, as you can see. So there we go. So that's nicely secured. Now we have the tail. So I have to do this side also completely and then come around, and then we will do a sliding knot here to finish off the ends. So for this one right here, we can add some beads like these ones right here. Oops. And then tie an overhand knot like that. So this is a short necklace, it is not a long necklace. So now we will do the macrame on the other side. For that I will pin my lotus charm right over here and take this cord, make it nice and straight here, and then so I keep this box just so that I can elevate this cord, so when I put the thread underneath I don't have to go scramble or scratch the surface. So I just keep it like this. And also we need to thread in our metallic beads, but we can do a couple of stitches here. So in this I have 1, 2 and 3 stitch. So here is my 45-inch cord, which I am going to put it underneath here and do my cue, start my square knot and take it. I know it's humongous, but it will reduce when we start doing the knot. So we need to do this, but make sure these two ends are in the same length. So it's, I'm sorry if it is off camera a bit, but the cord is really long, so I can't do much. Just have to check whether both cords are equal size, which it is, and move it all the way to the end. Then we will do our P. That's one square knot. Then let's do the second square knot. Two. For some reason, I am tightening the knot so much that I'm not able to see the bridges like this here. So I need to loosen up my knots a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to, I did something wrong maybe, probably, because I cannot see anything right here. So I will take this and we'll fix it. There's something wrong with the first knot I made, for sure. All we do in macrame is we can take it off and then start it again without any problems. See, the first knot I did something wrong. That's why I'm not able to see the bridges properly. Okay, there we go. So that was right. The first half knot was right. Now I put this on. Yes, this one like that. And then I did the Q. I know I always start with the Q. So this is going to be a P. See, something is not right. Okay. Let me continue the Q. Now it's coming out properly. So don't tighten it too much, otherwise the flat end will become rounded. So 3 knots, 1, 2, and this is third one. This is half knot, and this is a full knot. So the square knot has 2 parts in it, so you need to remember that. And you need to mimic the other side too, that's important. Now we can take the center 2 strands, burn the ends. So the ends, if they are together, it's easy for us to thread the beads on, even though it's a big hole. It's always a good thing if you can thread your beads on. So I have used only 3 of the metallic beads, so I am going to put only 3 inside. See how these two are combined together when it is melted. So it's easy for us to load the beads on. There we go. Then tighten that down. So push that in. So as you can see, there is like a bridge coming on the side right here. I don't know if you are able to see it. Let me come closer. There is like a bridge here, bunt here, a bump here. So that's the side I need to start with the next time. So it's gonna be my Q. I always start with the Q. I don't know, some people do start with P, but I do start with Q. So it's easy for me to remember that. So if you guys stick to a pattern, then it's easy also. So we did 1 stitch, we are ready now. I will just move this metallic beads above on top of this and move it to the side so that I can concentrate on this. Now I need to add, see this this part, this is that side of the necklace. It comes like this. So that now my right hand side is the top part of the lotus and the left hand side is the bottom. So the left will pick up the dagger beads, the right will pick up the seed beads. So, and also the direction of the dagger is important because we want the AB finish to show. So add the dagger beads on the left and the A dot Picasso C foam seed beads on the right. Drop that down, make your Q. Okay, There we go. And then pull through. Now make the P. And tighten it up. That's one knot. We will do one more knot in between the next dagger and the seed bead. Make sure it's nice and flat. So why am I using two threads, two different size threads, and completely one is Chinese knotting cord and the other one is this one? Because the Chinese knotting cord is a little bit thicker. So especially if you want there's no AB finish in this. So if you want the beads to go through, I need a smaller thread. But the center holding cord, we don't need a small thread. The bigger thread will do without any problems. So that's why I'm using two cords in the same color. And also it gives a little bit of volume to the centerpiece, which is always preferable in my books. But even if you can do both with the same cords, that will also prove to be strong enough to hold the necklace and everything. And by the way, you can also use a contrast thread. It will look much nicer. A golden metallic thread or silver thread or copper thread or any bright neon color thread will look good. That's totally up to you. It's a choice. I just want this green and this purplish AB finish to actually show through this. That is the one thing I want to focus on too. So that's why I didn't use any of those colors, and I use a similar color for both the holding cord and the knotting cord. So here we go. I add a truck bead and this one right here, and then do the same thing, RQs and P's. Macrame is so much fun. Really love macrame a lot. It's a nice stress buster. Also, you don't need a lot of items to actually finish a necklace. You don't need a clasp. You can make a sliding knot with a thread. All you need is thread and some beads if you prefer to. That also you can skip if you don't want beads, right? So there we go. 2 stitches between all of those, and then I'm ready to add my dagger beads. I love this Picasso seed beads. I really wanted to use it in a project. Even this simple one, just with the Picasso seed beads with the brown thread, looks amazing. I want to make a necklace or a bracelet with that. That will look really pretty. Leave me in the comment below if you guys think the same too. The blue and the brown is magical. That's what I think. Just one more knot. And I'm ready to add the next dagger bead. So I'll continue doing this, just 3 units of this, and then 3 seed beads, just seed beads on both the sides, instead of picking a dagger on one side and a seed bead on the other side. That's what I'm going to pick, and I'll finish this, and then again we will finish the silk wrap and the sliding knot here. So I finished 3 units of this pattern, and I'm ready to add just seed beads on both the cords into the macrame knot. So on the right and the left, and then do our square knots. On the other side I did this off the camera, so just want to make sure. I got this recorded too. There we go. Just one square knot after the bead, and then I'm ready to add the next seed bead on both the cords. For some reason, no matter how much I take my effort to use the cord in the same fashion, I always end up with one cord shorter than the other. I have realized this in many projects. So I don't know why, but it always happens. In this project, I think maybe I used bigger beads on one side and smaller beads on the other side. That could be a reasonable explanation to that problem. Okay, so it's always safer to cut a little bit more of wire than we need, because it's good to be safe than sorry. And then all we need to do is empty square stitches without any beads, couple of them, before we can do the wrapping technique. Okay, let's straighten this out a bit so that I can do the P's and Q's. Couple of them actually. In this I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half. Okay, that's 1. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. As much. So you can do as many stitches as you want. If you want to copy the other side, then you have to be consistent on both sides, but you can also be asymmetrical if you want to. I followed a pattern in this, but I always appreciate an asymmetrical necklace better than the symmetrical necklace. But in this I decided to go with a symmetrical design. but we can always choose asymmetrical pattern. So just randomly put beads on one side and don't follow any pattern. That will also give you a whole new look. I love the lotus charm that they gave in Sam's bead box this month. That's my favorite. Yeah, it's very pretty. Okay, now I'm ready to do the silk wrap and then finish it with the square sliding knot.